Rafa.
Hello there. Hi, Dominic. Good evening, Europe, and good morning, Australia. Welcome
morning.
to your episode of Titina's Talks about Eurovision 2021. We're getting so ready. Aren't you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially because tonight we're gonna talk about one of the countries I more love, mainly because I live here, but that doesn't matter. And it's also because it's a country full of potentials, and about when we're talking about music, and it's one of the countries that has participated the most in Eurovision, Rafa.
Of course. It's one of the countries that actually had as one of the longest history in Eurovision. That's why we call the UK's Euro history in Eurovision. And let's launch the question of the evening. So whoever's watching us, whoever's following us, please comment. Use the hashtags #Titina21 and #ESC2021, or use a live comment here because we can see your comments and join us during the live session. So the question is, what is your absolute favorite UK's entries of all time in Eurovision Song Contest?
Exactly, Rafa. So tonight we will celebrate the UK in Eurovision, and to do so, we have a special guest with us. So the special guest. So this was my idea. I'll be very honest with you, because a few years ago, when I started following Eurovision as a Eurofan, my love for Eurovision raised by visiting a special place in London called the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. I'm sure many of you know, and it was. I remember that night. It was a special night because they were celebrating this amazing European party called Eurovision Song Contest. I didn't really know much about it at that time. So tonight I've decided to invite a very good friend of ours. He's one of the organizers of the party called Eurofest at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. Eurofest is a party in which we fly the flag of Europop all night long with plenty of European music, hits and remixes. And so nothing. I'm just going to introduce our host for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Alasdair.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, ciao, buonasera, bonsoir, hello.
Bonsoir, buonasera, ciao, come stai? How you doing?
Oh, molto bene. That's the extent of my Italian.
Oh my God, you can say Italian, that's just great. Honestly, great. Well, welcome, Alasdair, and thank you very much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you,
I know you're very busy, and we know all about your parties, but before we start the celebration of the UK tonight, we'd like to ask you more about your parties in the UK. Can you tell us more, please?
Yeah, so I run, as you were saying, a club night called Eurofest. It started, almost 10 years ago. It was at the start of 2012. Me and a few friends thought, wouldn't it be nice if we had a club night dedicated to Eurovision? No, that's not going to be popular. We'll try it for one night, see what happens. And yeah, almost 10 years later, we're still going strong. We have club night 4 times a year at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. Obviously, the small matter of COVID kind of got in the way last year, so we've been moving our discos online. So lots of Euro clubbing, but on a nice carpeted living room as opposed to the sticky floor of the RVT. But it's been great fun. Whenever we have a Eurofest party, we have a live act come and perform. We've had people like Conchita Wurst, Linda Martin, Nikki French. We've had so many names over the years. We've done a Eurofest in Eurovision Week in Copenhagen in 2014. We've done a Pride night, and yeah, we're still there.
And you had Conchita Wurst, which was one of the main nights you had in the Vauxhall Tavern. I remember that.
Yeah, it was just before she won. It was the preview night in 2014, true. And yeah, I don't think we could afford her now, but yeah, she was fantastic.
Well, I think that she would actually come on, really. She's just lovely. So I mean, I met her in Tel Aviv 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Gosh, how time flies! I know, God, and I almost didn't recognize her. Like, oh my God, that's you! Oh my God, so sweet and so beautiful. So, Alasdair, to open the evening, we thought about an icebreaker, and we all love a quiz to break the ice, darling. So we prepared just 3 questions.
No
Very
pressure.
easy, I have to say. No pressure at all, darling. No. We prepared 3 questions. So I would invite our viewers now from home, which I can see you actually growing numbers now. Yeah, thank you. So I would invite our viewers from home to give us the answer if you know that. So if you're ready, let's start with our quiz. So quizzes are going to be very, very, very easy. Now, I just need to share my screen with you guys, and it's not easy sometimes.
Close all the dirty stuff, yeah?
No, I'm not.
I
have no dirty stuff, really. I really have no dirty stuff, darling. Okay. But we do have the first question for ya, right? So, when was the first and last time that the UK won Eurovision Song Contest? You have option A, 1969 and 1998. Then you got option B, 1967, 1996. C, it's 1967 plus 1997. And D, it's 1965 plus 1997. You have 10 seconds from now.
Don't use Google, yeah?
We can see it from your glasses, darling.
I know the answer. I'm waiting to see if anyone in the chat wants to submit their answer.
We got shy people here, really. We got shy people. And I remember, if you don't allow StreamYard to actually visualize your comments, we cannot see them here. We just see like a sort of anonymous comment. So let's go you first, Alasdair.
So it is C, 1967, when it was the lovely Sandy Shaw, and 1997, the even more lovely Katrina and her waves.
Congratulations! Congratulations! You're number 1 with the first question. Let's go to the second one. Sorry. I just got to the wrong one. Right, here we are. So, in what year did the UK arrive for the last time? Was it 2009? Was it 2019? Was it 2018? Or was it 2017? Sorry, I just wrote twice 2018, but it was 2017. Anyway. What is your answer? I can see here someone saying 2018. Nope. Unfortunately, that is not the right answer. Nope. And I think that was my husband just commenting there. Not good. What is the answer you gave, Alasdair?
It is, so recently, it was B, 2019. We're the current last country. Poor old Michael Rice.
Yeah, he had a nice song, I have to be honest.
A nice song. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was not appreciated. Only 11 points. Can you believe it?
I know. Could have been worse. Could have been like Gemini. At least we got points.
Yeah, exactly. But even Germany got above you.
Yeah.
Can you just believe it? Oh, come on, I can't really believe it. And then last but not the least, in which years did the UK arrive second for 3 times in a row? So for 3 years in a row. Was it 1958, 1959, 1960? Or 1961, 1962, 1963? Or again, 1959, 1960, 1961? Or last but not the least, from 1961 to 1963?
I think I know.
Mm-hmm. I might be wrong. Let's hear that.
I'm going to go with B, 59, 60, and 61.
What do our judges say? They say you are completely right. Congratulations, you won it. Yes, exactly. That was the 3 years in a row when the UK got second for 3 times in a row. Exactly. Now, let's go to the very, heart of the evening. And I think that I'll leave it over to Dominic now.
Yes. So, as we said, the UK has won the Eurovision Song Contest for so many times and used to be the top country until, I think, 2002, more or less. Then all of a sudden, the decline. And we really don't understand what happened to you guys. So what do you think happened to the UK in the last 19 years, more or less 20 years?
Well, I think other countries have upped their game. I think other countries have really kind of put in the effort over the years. And I think the other thing that affected us was the change in the language rule. So we kind of got away with it until the late 90s when countries had to sing in their own language. Because a lot of the kind of the pop music world, if you turn on the radio, is in English, whether we like it or not, a lot of pop music is English. So
Sure.
If you look at the stats, the UK, Ireland, and Malta were the 3 most successful countries in the 90s, 3 countries that all sang in English. The rule changed in 1999, and then you had kind of the Scandinavian powerhouses who were a big music industry, and when they could sing in English, they kind of unleashed their big songwriting talent. Also, around that time, we had a huge influx in new countries take part, and it's more difficult to win when you're up against 40 other countries as opposed to 20 other countries. And I think we kind of lost our way musically in the contest. The national final was hidden away on a Sunday afternoon for a while. We stopped having kind of big record labels take part. I think we're on the right track again, but we just kind of lost our way and other countries overtook us.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but
sure.
can I just ask you one thing about this? You said that then other countries started singing in English, but already in the 70s, I do remember, for example, let's talk about the Abbas, they were all singing in English and they were not singing for the UK. Anyway.
Yeah, they changed the rule for a bit in the 70s. And then there was like an outcry from some countries like domestic music scene where they said we're having our own kind of national language as being suppressed because to win you have to sing in English. So they changed the rule in, I think it was 1977. All countries had to sing in their own language again.
Right. And then again in 1999, with all that, all countries were allowed to sing in whatever language they wanted to sing, basically.
Imagine especially because I'm sorry if I interrupt you. Imagine Finland bringing a ballad in Finnish. Wouldn't be exactly the same effect, no?
I honestly would have voted my whole life for Jeva's polka. Polka, 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 polka. I would have loved that. They would have been just winning song for me. Now, but talking about the UK, and all the songs that you have, presented to the Eurovision Song Contest, which are a lot, I can tell. What is the song that you think was totally robbed in this history, and what is instead the song that you think was or is still totally overrated from the UK?
I'm going to be controversial here. I think the overrated song is "Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit." I've never worn to that song, Gina G's song. I know everyone loves it. It was a big hit in the clubs. It was #1. It was a real crossover here, and I love dance music. I love that kind of sound, but I've just never quite warmed to that song. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's really overrated. I think it's all right, but I wouldn't choose to listen to it.
But overrated. What is instead the song that you think was completely robbed in the history of Eurovision Song Contest from England?
Oh, it's in the whole. See, my favorite ever UK song wasn't quite robbed. It came second, so I wouldn't describe it as being robbed. I said the one that was really robbed, 1994, the lovely Francis Ruffel, Lonely Symphony.
Oh,
great song.
Yeah, I do remember.
And it was that era in the mid-90s where everyone was singing very kind of like middle of the road, dull ballads, maybe a slightly Celtic thing. We had a really kind of quirky pop song that was really kind of credible, and she was a great singer. But yeah, sadly, we only came 10th. We only just managed. So I reckon, that's one of our most robbed entries.
I mean, robbed in the competition, but obviously they had a huge success after the Eurovision and abroad the UK as well. I mean, usually it doesn't matter the position you reach in the grand final. I can make an example about my own country. One of the main songs we ever brought to Eurovision was Volare o Cantare o, and that arrived third that year. But they received so many awards, and obviously you had something similar with Steps, for example. I remember when I was a kid, I never followed Eurovision, but Steps was something huge. I mean, especially in Italy.
Yeah, well, Steps have never done Eurovision, and there's always the rumor that comes around every year to say, "Oh, maybe Steps will do it." But,
okay, I've said something so bad. I'm so sorry with everyone, guys. No, but so there was someone very similar to Steps, and I always thought it was Steps. I'm really sorry, guys, about this.
We're not experts of Eurovision, just Eurovision lovers. That's what makes us very unique in our way. But I think that Dominic asked me if he could prepare something, and I'll leave it up to you, Dominic.
Yes, we were talking about Rob songs, and we have a little video we would like to watch together and maybe comment with you. Rafa, if you can send it.
Yes. I can't wait to watch it with you now. So I know what's going to. Can you understand what he says?
He said something like,
a horrible thing.
Never a joy, really. Sweetheart. No. Don't give up. No, darling. Don't do that. Don't give up. So,
tell us, Alistair. Tell us.
It's still quite traumatic watching it because I was in the audience. I was in Lisbon and saw it all happen, and no one quite knew what was going on because the audience is so big. It's quite difficult to kind of see closely on the stage, but it was really shocking.
It was indeed. It was, yeah.
We didn't know what was going on. Yeah, it's true. It was quite kind of shocking, even from home. Yes, it was. What were you saying, Rafa?
No, nothing. I just had a question. Like, so how? I mean, what was your reaction in that moment? I mean, you were in the audience. What was your reaction? We know that many fans during the Eurovision Song Contest during that night actually wanted the UK to have a second chance to, perform the song on that stage, but that didn't happen really. So, what was the reaction and the feeling that you had? I mean, because I very felt so bad. And in that case, just linking myself to the question, what you think is the song that was most robbed in the UK, I would say Suri. I really loved that song. I don't know, really. I mean, robbed in all senses, in the real sense of the word. Really.
I don't know why it did so badly. Genuinely think it's a good song. She's a good singer. She's a lovely person. I met her a couple of times. She's great. I think when that happened, it was a kind of mixture of shock, confusion. Suddenly everyone's getting onto Twitter. It's like, what's happened? What's happened? Can you see what's happening? And then so I wonder if that's why people didn't vote for it, because people kind of got distracted and then like, what's happening? Then didn't really take in the song. But she coped with it amazingly. Imagine you've been preparing for that moment for months. You get on stage in front of thousands of people, millions of people watching on TV, and some idiot comes on stage and whacks your microphone from you. How you would just carry on like she did. Amazing.
That was just amazing. Really professional from her. Really, 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 really. But
the lyrics, and the lyrics of the song actually helped in that exact moment because she was saying something like "Don't give up" or something like that. She didn't give up at all. She's been very professional. I'm so sorry for her. Yeah.
a bit. But now, how do you think that something like this could really happen in such a huge event where all the organization is a huge machine which works perfectly?
Yeah, sometimes something just slips through the net. I mean, sometimes you watch big football games and you'll get a stripper running onto the pitch, or at Wimbledon you've had someone kind of jumping onto the stage. I think even the Oscars had a stage invasion one year. So yeah, you can prepare all you want, but there's no accounting for idiots.
Yeah, no, and that means that actually these celebration of music and this contest is freaking important all around the world.
Yeah,
that's why we have this. But now, let's talk about the national selections just a little bit. Would you? I know this is kind of not a really bright area, bright side of the UK in Eurovision. So apparently you never had a very clear and transparent way of selecting your song and the singer. So either you had the chance to first select the song but not the singer, then vice versa. Then you had the chance to select both song and singer, and then all of a sudden, like in between 2011 and 2015, and then again since 2019, it's the BBC who took control over the entire selection of song and representative, and you don't have any way to express your thoughts, have you say about that. I mean, don't you think that a more transparent selection of the singer and the song together, where the public has the real say about the selection, would help improve the results of the UK in the Eurovision?
No, not really, to be honest. I don't think it matters what the selection route is. I mean, when we did that public selection from 2016 to 2019, problem was a lot of the time the songs that we were asked to vote on just weren't that good. And if you look at some of the winning countries over the years, countries like Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Russia, countries like Turkey and Greece, they've often just done an internal selection. And if you've got like the UK now, even though it's still the BBC, they're actually given a lot of that selection work to BMG Records, who are like a professional big record label. And to be honest, I'd rather someone like BMG Records was selecting the song than Tony from Northampton, who's probably not a big Eurovision fan and thinks it's all still stuck in the 70s.
Well, but we do feel that maybe when the public is more involved in these, the result is much better. I mean, in 2019 we had, for example, from Italy, me and Dominic being both Italian, we did have Mahmoud, and Mahmoud was in a way or another the reflection of an Italy who wanted to be more international, of an Italy that had these mixed children of different nationalities and wanted to come to the stage of Eurovision saying, hey, this is my international and pop modern side, modern face. But for example, last year I was not really I did not really agree with the choice that Sanremo made for the Italian representative Eurovision. But that's why I do think that it would be much better and beneficial for Italian to have a sort of a double selection. We have the Sanremo winner, and then on the other side you do have like the creation of a prize for Eurovision, so you make people select the participants Eurovision. Do you think that these could actually help Italy, as it happens in all other countries, for Eurovision?
Yeah, maybe, because when I watch Sanremo, it feels like I'm watching, which it is, a massive Italian TV show. It doesn't necessarily feel like I'm watching
huge
election shows for Eurovision. They're two very separate things. I love Sanremo. I mean, it goes on for like hours and hours, but it's such great entertainment. But you don't necessarily feel that you're watching people select a song for Eurovision. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe sometimes, I think the UK has sometimes fallen down the trap of, not so much recently, but like, what song will do well at Eurovision? And you shouldn't really think like that. You just want to say, what is a good song that represents your country's music scene? And I think we've been in the UK too focused on, that's a very Eurovision-y sound.
But I think that's more, that is what many countries do, actually. They do think that's a very Eurovision-y sound, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not necessarily ones that do well. That's why I think Sweden have done really well over the last few years, because their selection show, Melodifestivalen, is a Eurovision selection show, but it's also a showcase for Sweden songwriting talent, Sweden singers, and they kind of ended up with like the best of both worlds there.
But that then didn't apply to Portugal.
Well, Portugal have always kind of ploughed their own furrow over the years. Portugal have never found a Eurovision formula. That's why I think a lot of fans have got a little soft spot for Portugal.
It's true. But then I think, by coming to the various parties that you do at the Vauxhall Tavern, but also other kind of parties that in Vauxhall, Soho, etc. I always see, as Italian, I always see that the UK and London more specifically has such a massive huge number of artists and amazing artists, young artists. So don't you think that it would be much better maybe for the UK to organize an internal selection where everyone can join, and then the public and the BBC on the other side choose what will be the UK entry for that year?
So that would be good. So what we did for a few years, so before we moved into that national selection stuff that we had for the last few years, for 2 or 3 years for that, we used BBC Introducing, which is kind of like where BBC find young talent, but it was an internal selection. So I think you need is a combination of the two. So you've got BBC or record labels finding kind of 5 or 6 young talent that they really want to get out there with a public vote, rather than sort of finding a couple of songs that are specifically with Eurovision in mind, but showcasing new talent, but with a public vote. So you've kind of got a bit of a combination there.
Mm-hmm.
It would be much better. It's true.
Because you did have it for a certain time of, for a certain time you had the mix in between the BBC, the professional jury and the public back home, where you were sending your postcards or you were televoting, and then the votes got mixed. Right. Over to you, Dominic. Sorry.
So one of our most successful eras was when the BBC selected the artist and then the public voted for the song. So get a big name, get a Sonia Michael Ball as it was then, Olivia Newton-John, and let the public choose the song. That was a good era.
Now I remember why I made the mistake. I didn't want to say a steps. I meant the blue. I remember the blue going to Eurovision. Yes, it was the blue. And I don't know if you remember how big they were in Italy a few years back. They were huge.
I had to take my sister to one of their concerts. That year I used to live in Italy. I was back from Dublin. I remember, I used to live in Italy, and I had to take my sister to the concerts. And as I barely was maybe one of the very few people who could literally understand everything they said, I had like dozens of young girls asking me, "What is he saying? Oh my God, it's so hot! Oh my God, it's so good! Oh my God, I want to marry him." He's gay. Maybe I don't know. Well, he's gonna get married very soon. So no, not for you, really.
But you're now, Rafa, sorry if I interrupt you here, but we need to go forward. So, Alasdair, before we go ahead, so we say that the UK didn't have a very brilliant past in the past few years, obviously, but obviously everything changed last year, or at least that's our feeling. You had an amazing artist last year, and thanks God he came back this year. So, Rafa, can you show us just for a few seconds this year?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Out of the embers, you and I are gonna light up the room. Out of the embers, there's a fire burning for you. There's a fire burning for you. Light up the room. Light up the room.
Nice video, great lyrics, great music. It makes you want to dance, isn't it? I love it. Woo! Congrats!
Yeah, it's an amazing song. I think personally it's one of the best songs of this year. I mean, this year, and it's one of the best songs the UK has brought to the Eurovision in the past 10 years.
No, it's a great song. And what I like about it, so like the other day, I was doing my ironing, as you do, and I had the radio on, and Embers came on. And what I loved about it was that it didn't sound out of place. It sounded like the type of song that you would hear on the radio. So often our Eurovision song has been, it's been nice, but it's just felt a bit dated or doesn't feel like, representative of pop music.
So Alasdair, yes, tell me. Sorry, there is a bit of return.
Maybe he didn't hear you. But anyway, so what do you really think about this song this year? Do you think that's like, is it right for us to feel that it's like the UK is really trying to get back to win Eurovision, to be back on track, to be in the top countries again?
Yeah, definitely. And there was a real change in attitude last year when there was a new team involved with the BBC. They've got BMG Records on board. I went to the James Newman launch event last year, like a week or so before the country changed and everything went mad. And there was a real sense of, right, we're taking this seriously for a change. We get it. We know what we need to do to do well. We understand the contest, because so often I think we've gone in a bit naive in recent years. Yeah, it feels like a new approach. I mean, I don't think we're going to win yet, but I think it feels like, we're not embarrassing ourselves. We've got a song that we can be genuinely proud of, and not just say that. We actually are happy to be represented by that.
You're absolutely right about that. I mean, you can be absolutely proud about the song. The song, it really makes you want to dance. I was trying to say over the music before, but maybe the music was just too loud. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to sing. It makes you feel happy.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
that's just a great thing,
and that's what we need this year as well. After the year we've had.
Oh yeah, after this freaking COVID-19 and the pandemic and all the shutdowns we had, and we do need something happy. But at the moment, I'm just like checking the odds at the very moment, and unfortunately, I can see that the UK went down a lot since last week, because on Thursday night last week we had a little night that we called Crystal Bowling, which we're going to have a little repetition of that later on with you anyway. And the UK was 14th. Now this year, this weekend, that is 23rd. I mean, it's a bit sad to say to see this, even because there are chances.
Yeah, but we've been favourite before back in the day, and then would come 8th or 9th or something. So I Ukraine, which won a few years ago, they were nowhere in the betting. Portugal was really low in the betting until the couple of weeks before the contest. So everything can change.
Everything can change. So how much do you think that actually the odds could influence the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest?
Not a lot, to be honest. I think people read a lot. It's quite exciting in the weeks leading up to the contest. You look at and say, wow, that's doing really well, that's doing really badly. But actually, the vast majority of people watching Eurovision on the Saturday night haven't been following all the odds and all the fan polls and all the websites and all that. They're just tuning in from their sofa in Baku or Bergen or Barcelona, and they're watching the songs for the first time. So you can have a real interesting backstory and be doing really well in the betting. But if you don't perform well on the Saturday night, you don't have that impact, people aren't going to vote for you.
Absolutely.
And imagine how amazing it will be an Eurovision in London again.
I think I'd have a heart attack if it happened.
Yeah, with an after party in the Vauxhall Tavern.
Oh, pre-party, after party, every party. Don't worry.
We're there. Call on us. I mean, we can speak several languages and we can help people to come in. So no worries at all. We're gonna help you organize that. No worries. So we said we wanted to have a crystal bowling with you. I would ask Dominic to send me the little video we prepared to start the crystal bowling session with our lovely guest Alasdair. So it's always crystal bowling. Let's see. Let's add it to the live stream. So in Titina Stokes, we do like to crystal bowl a little bit these Eurovision Song Contest. So Alasdair, use your crystal balls, you use whatever, like your psychic reading and whatever. Please tell us, who do you think is going to be the winner of Eurovision Song Contest 2021?
The winner of Eurovision 2021 is going to be Malta.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a hard guess, right?
You played it easy, right?
It's not my favourite, but there's just something about it that I think that might win.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite song then? And why do you think so?
So I think it just feels, I don't know, it's a very open year this year anyway. To me, it doesn't feel like there's a runaway winner. And it just feels like it's got that something in a way that like Netta did a couple of years ago for Israel. Like I say, not my favorite, but just stands out above the rest. So I think it is going to be Malta's year. I think it will be quite close, but I think Malta are going to do it.
Right, good. Did you see the interview we had with Destiny a couple of days ago? She was so sweet and lovely, really.
She is really nice. She is lovely because she won Junior Eurovision a few years ago, so she's got the experience there.
Exactly.
Yeah, she does. Well, so we went beyond our 30 minutes as always. So yeah, it's true.
But that means we had fun together.
Yeah, we did, yes. So, gentle friends, gentle gay friends, it is now time to say good night, Europe, and good morning, Australia. Before we close, I would like to ask everyone who's following tonight live that you can actually follow the Eurofest UK on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and check their next events. Unfortunately, I've just checked that your next event for the grand final of Eurovision is already sold out. But you can actually
sold out in 3 minutes.
It's true, but you can actually join a waiting list, right?
Yeah.
So in case there is someone who cancel.
I'm good at making coffee and cooking, so I can come over and just like stay behind there. Behind the scenes is fine. I mean, it's just to be a little bit with human beings around. I need human contact.
I mean, if Alastair wants to invite us as a special guest, we are here.
You can come and stand wave at the window. We'll open the windows and you can get a
Okay.
Yes, it's a bit cold out here.
Because if you follow Eurofest on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, you will find not just information about their next events, but also information about the whole Eurovision world, more specifically about the UK in Eurovision.
Yeah. And then we'll be back again in the summer once all the restrictions have lifted, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the summer, a proper club night. Do you remember those?
Yes.
I think I forgot, to be honest with you.
Are you planning any event in open air event?
Not an open air one, but we're hoping to do a proper RVT club later in the summer. But we'll see what happens.
Well, that would be great.
Well, gentle ladies and gentle gays and gentle friends from everywhere in the world, we had a lovely time with you tonight. We had a lovely time with you, Alistair. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, Dominic, for your precious cooperation with the Gaily Mirror. So we'll wait for you on Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. time, or UK PM time, sorry. So 9:30 UK PM time. Yes, I can make it right this time. And yet for a new episode of Titina Talks on our road to Eurovision 2021. And we hope, that our next special guest is going to introduce us to one of the countries in Eurovision that really made the history of Eurovision. And it's not a European country. That's what we can tell you about. So follow us on the Facebook page of the Gaily Mirror and also on our YouTube channel. And if you like it, subscribe. We'd like a thumb up.
Thank you so much for following, everyone. And see you next time.
Thank you very much. And bye-bye, everybody.
Oops.
And then, oops, it was removed. No worries at all. I was just dancing. So good night.
Bye, guys.